Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. I'm Gregg from In5D.com. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Monday evening. Today is June 17th, 2024. Got a few things we're going to be covering today, including some new Mandela Effects. They're at least new to me. I don't know if you guys have seen them either, but I've been following these Mandela Effects for the longest time. I think one of the ones that stands out the most with me is a Bible verse where the lion lays down with the lamb, and now it's the wolf lays down with the lamb. What? Yeah. There's a bunch of them. Like, you can check out In5D. Just go to the search bar, type in Mandela, you'll see them. So, got a few things I'll cover beforehand while people are filing in. I made boneless, skinless chicken thighs tonight, and I used this spice rub, Cajun spice rub by Rib Rack, and it's friggin' fantastic. It's about a little over half done. I'll have to buy some more, but it's really good. And the regular rub is really good as well. Recommend both of them. I went shopping on Temu. I was looking for something to put on my dashboard that would hold my cell phone. I found this thing. It spins around, locks into place. It's got a little sticky thingy on the bottom. Still haven't put it on there. Got a memory card for my cell phone. Had to get a new cell phone because my old iPhone got water damaged. But I found one on Craigslist for like $50 for a Samsung A13. Yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's like supersized, and it's got all, gajillion cameras on it. Probably listens to me constantly. Fuck you, you homo. Anyway, what else? Oh, so yeah, I got that car thingy that goes on top of for the dashboard for my phone and the memory card. I thought I was buying swim trunks, but it ends up, I think they're just underwear. I couldn't imagine, they're just like so flimsy. I couldn't imagine wearing these to the beach. So these are now underwear. And I got something else. I can't find it. I don't know where it is, but yeah, that's Temu is amazing. If you want low price stuff, go there. I ended up moving my bracelets from a couple of them from my right hand to my left hand, but I ordered a few more on Temu. And yeah, that's about the latest news I have. I hear something over there. It's weird. I mean, it's just me here. Anyway. What else? It's my parents' 68th anniversary coming up on, this weekend. And 68 years. Can you believe it? Wow. I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed to have my parents with me still. And to anyone who's lost their mother or father or both of them, my heart goes out to you. I was talking to my daughter, Brittany, and I told her, be sure to call Grandma and Grandpa, because who knows, right? She goes, I will. Sometimes you got to remind your kids to do simple things like that. We were all that age at one point. Hey, Mikey, See Mikey in the chat. Joe. Hi to Bob from Whitsunday Islands. Wow. Okay. Welcome aboard. How are you? Thank you for joining me. I saw this other thing online, and I thought, wow, this is a really cool idea. And it's these adjustable lenses. And I think the ad started out, never waste money on an eye doctor again. I thought, well, hell, that sounds cool. Hi, Shannon. Yeah, this is live. How are you? It's live. So yeah, these adjustable lenses I saw on, I think it was an ad on Rumble, but it caught my attention. I thought, what a great idea for people that wear glasses. I wear contact lenses. Occasionally, you guys will see me wearing glasses. And I thought, wow, that's a good idea. I took a screenshot of the page. Let's see. There we go. And this is what it said on that page. Let me go to the top. You know, SpinView Pro. Order today. And I love how they say this. You go back tomorrow and it still says the same thing, right? Where they have the countdown. Only 5 minutes left. Come back a day later. Only 5 minutes left. Claim discount over here. Yeah, screw that. Anyway, yeah, SpinView Pro. Get instant 20/20 vision without prescription. And look at the rating, 4.8 by 3,200 verified customers. That's literally unbelievable, as you'll see in a minute. You know, powered by dual lens, blah, 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 yada, yada. Okay. And so I checked out, you know, what are the, what's the cost of this? And here's a live website. It isn't that one I just showed you, but $89 for those. Oh wait, here's one that's marked down to $49.50. This one was $99, marked down to $49.50. Wow, what a bargain. This guy looks all professional. I can trust him. Sure. So I went to Amazon. Same glasses that they're charging $90 basically. On Amazon, what do you think? How much? $50, $40, $30, $20 on Amazon. You can get them on Amazon for as little as like $6.97. And these fuckers are raping people for $90 a pop. But just like those ads on TV. But wait, that's not all. But wait, there's more. The ratings. Remember I showed you, it said like all these, you know, almost a 5-star rating from 600 some odd people. Well, on Amazon, they beg to differ with those ratings. And their ratings, you're lucky to get a 2-star rating. Most of them are under 2 stars, saying that this is a piece of garbage. It doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, Bob. So many gadgets out there claiming to heal us and all. Healing comes from within. This is the third eye chakra. Yeah. And it's a little different pattern now that you'll see on the website, but that's what this is, third eye. Hi to Kimberly. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so you got, you know, buyer beware kind of thing when, you know, it caught my attention. Like I said, I was watching a Rumble video. It came on. I wear contacts. Occasionally, I wear glasses. Like I said, you guys have seen me wearing them, and caught my attention. And you got to think about it too. Okay, so you put these glasses on, and you there's like little screws on the side where you can adjust the focus of the lens, which would make sense if you're reading. What if you're driving? Stuff's coming at you, right? It's so you might have it adjusted for a distance, but what happens when cars slow down? Do things go out of focus? What happens if you want to look at your speedometer and you have it adjusted for distance? They don't tell you about that shit on there. So, yeah. Aw, thank you, Wendy. Yeah, third eye chakra, In5D.net. Yeah, with all these, like the reds, yellows, orange, blue, green, indigo, violet, they all have chakra stones in there that lock the energy of that, and along with the 99.9% quartz crystal sand, which magnifies the energy of those chakra stones. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. In5D.net. I can put that banner up here. There we go. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Thought I'd point that out to people. Don't get suckered in by those adjustable lens glasses. These bastards charging $90 when you can get it for less than $7, and they suck. And the ratings on them are horrible. So they're screwing you on the price, and they lied about the ratings. There you have it. Okay. I saw this movie. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this website. I like it. It's called upmovies.net. And you can basically find all sorts of stuff. I found this movie. I saw this yesterday, and I told Allie about it. It's called Tarot, and it came out in 2024. So it came out this year. It's an hour and a half long, a little over. And when a group of friends recklessly violates the sacred rule of tarot readings, never use someone else's deck, they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within the cursed cards. One by one, they come face to face with fate and end up in a race against death to escape the future foretold in their readings. Now, Allie said, "Nah, I'm not going to watch it." I should have listened to her. I saw it anyway, and yeah, it wasn't good. It really, well, first of all, it had like a very woke cast, and the premise on it was just, I didn't like the whole premise behind it, and the readings that they gave, and I didn't necessarily agree with the interpretations. But it's a movie, so who really would care to delve into it that far, right? My place not specifically, but right down the road from me got flooded pretty badly. Yeah. There was a lot of rain here in Sarasota. And I see that there's a storm out in the Gulf of Mexico already. Alberto. So, yeah, that's surprising. And then there's another one that might form off of the Atlantic. So, crazy weather. Let's see. Here it is. I have a picture on my Facebook page that I posted, but because I'm so heavily shadow banned, I don't know if anyone saw it, but this was in Siesta Key, the picture on the left, and the picture on the right was about 1/8 of a mile from me. This is the corner of Bee Ridge and Tamiami here in Sarasota. And yeah, look at that flooding. It's crazy. Crazy flooding. But I'm okay. Yep. Let's see. Some other things we can cover real quick. Then I'll get into the Mandelas and the mispronounced words. This is from, hang on, let me grab the link. The following is from the In5D Telegram page. And just these are just like some local, or not local, some things that are happening lately. And like this one, these are the liberals all having a cookout, right? Showing what kind of family people they are. Except for, look at Chuck Schumer here. What a dolt. These, if you could zoom in, I can't zoom in on them, but the hamburgers are raw, right? And he has a piece of cheese on top of a raw hamburger. What an idiot. So obviously, it was, a photo op. Staged photos. And I posted this on my Facebook page. This dude on Sunday went to Five Guys for Father's Day. He bought 2 burgers, 3 cheeseburgers, 1 French fry, 1 milkshake, $72.71. If you could zoom in on that, you could see it better. $72.71 to bring his family to Five Guys for burgers. And I was curious, and I went through and I found a Five Guys menu from 2015, and the prices have gone up almost 100% since 2015. And probably the majority of that have been within Biden's term, because things weren't this bad under Trump. And a belated happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. My dad and myself included. There's a new article on In5D, the mirror portal disappearance that everyone's talking about. And I'll post a link to that in the chat. Okay. There it is. Oh, wow. Bob says, in treating my cancer, I have abandoned the Western medical model and I am using only natural remedies. Nature is nurture. Yeah, I can't argue that. Although this is not medical advice, right? Got to put that disclaimer out there. And I feel you, Bob, because I had stage 3 cancer, melanoma. I've got the scar on my back about that big for a little tiny melanoma that spread to my glands under my arm and in my groin. And they had to remove those glands as well. But I told them no chemo, no radiation, just cut it out. That's it. This was back in 2007, 2008, over at the Moffitt Cancer Hospital in Tampa. Been cancer-free ever since. So, yeah, no way I was going to do chemo or radiation. That shit's not good, in my opinion. This is not medical advice. God, I hate having to say that. If we were on Rumble, I might say something different. Okay, I think I've covered everything. How's everyone doing? Hi to Vixter Gal. How are you? Thanks for joining. There's Morejo. Yeah, I appreciate the concern too. Thank you. Hi, Sean, up in Ottawa, Canada. How are you? A lot of rain here, tropical Queensland. Wow. Oh, it's your winter there. It's approaching winter. Yeah. Photo op, indeed. Morejo. Yeah. And thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I had a great day yesterday. So spoke to my dad, and my daughter called, and spent a little time at the beach playing bocce. Yeah. You guys ready for some Mandela effects? I am. As I mentioned, if you go to in5d.com, type in Mandela. You don't even have to type in the whole thing, just Mandela in the search bar. You'll find Mandela effect articles. But there's new ones that at least I wasn't aware of, and we'll see if you guys are aware of these ones too. So let's jump into it. Now, I'll ask you guys, remember in school, some of those that are old enough, we had to put our hand across the heart and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. But that's what we did. Where was your heart? It was over here, right? It's on the left side of your body, right? Apparently not anymore. It moved. I'll show you what I'm saying. This is Mandela effect number 1. They're saying now your heart's in the center of your body. It's not on the left-hand side. What the fuck? When did this happen? Or, I mean, is it possible that it was like that the whole time and we only thought it was there? But then again, why would we take our right hand and place it over the left side of our body, over where we thought our heart was? What do you guys think? Do you guys remember your heart being on your left-hand side, or has it always been in the center? Shannon, summer started in West LA, sunny, mid-70s, right on. That's beautiful weather. Yeah. Of course I can. Happy 41st birthday, Joe. June 22nd, right on. Congratulations, 41 years young. First one weighing in is Judy on the left. Got that right. Got that left. Yeah. Remember pledging allegiance to the flag in school? You'd have to put it over your heart on the left-hand side of your body. We never did this. Nobody showed us to put our hand over the center of our chest to pledge allegiance. I mean, even when you put your hand there, you can feel the heart beating, not necessarily in the center as much. Yeah. I always thought it was on the left. I had open heart surgery, quadruple bypass. I'm pretty sure it's over here. Crazy. Cray. That's Mandela Effect number 1. And I hadn't heard of that up until recently. So new Mandela effects are popping up. And let's check out another one. Now, you got to kind of be familiar with cars. Apparently, the Volvo on the right that has the male symbol is the correct one. I don't remember that arrow ever being there on Volvo. Does anyone remember this arrow? Of course, I've never owned a Volvo. My parents have never owned it, but I've seen commercials. I had friends who have had Volvos. I don't remember ever seeing this arrow here. Yeah, crazy. Is that something that you guys ever, do you recall seeing that? An arrow? Well, it's the sign of the male sign, right? Yeah, Morejo. I don't remember it. Neither do either. Neither do either. Yeah, I mean, especially now in the times of wokeness and all, and equal rights and everything, that would turn women off if a Volvo is a male sex symbol. Yeah. Susie says the one on the left looks correct. When did all this shit happen without us knowing? I don't know. Were we meditating and all of a sudden we popped into a different reality? Where all of a sudden our heart's in the center? Mine isn't. Mine's still over here. Yeah. The last one, and I'm sure there's a lot more, but these were the 3 that stood out the most to me. And if I know you guys, a lot of us are around the same age group. We're in that same Pluto and Virgo generation, or Pluto and Libra generation, relatively close to each other, and we remember stuff, or apparently not. Or maybe we remember differently. This is the last one, and it's of Richard Simmons. They said that he never wore a headband. And you can go back and look at all the videos. There's not one, you will not find one video where he's wearing a headband. Not one. I could have swore he had like some glitter or maybe stars and stripes or something like that for his headband, but not one. Did Richard Simmons wear a headband at all, ever? Apparently not. Yeah. Judy says I can picture him in a blue sweatband closer to his eyebrows, right? Mario, I just Googled 1985 Volvos and the emblem is the male symbol. Wow. Damn. Yeah. I didn't give much heads up. I was doing I planned on giving a heads up like an hour and a half beforehand, but I was doing like last minute research and editing on photos and everything. And I only gave people like a 15-minute heads up. Then I made a post on Facebook as well as Rumble and Twitter, Truth Social, for a short heads up. But yeah, sorry about that. Susie says same thing. I remember the headband. So does Star. I don't remember wearing one, but I was too young. Okay, no. Okay. Dana says, yeah. We remember he wore one. Yep. Yeah, I thought it was like some glittery kind. Or, like stars. Maybe stars and stripes. Like a Captain America kind of headband or something. And perhaps closer to the eyebrows. Right. Crazy. Mandela Effects. To me, the Mandela Effect are timelines converging until we get to the most optimal timeline. And these are all relatively similar, dimensions, almost identical to the one we're in right now, but little things change, like the headband or the Volvo logo, right? Where the heart's located. Little things are changing as reality changes right before our eyes. So if we're converging into the best timeline for humanity, I guess it doesn't matter if some of these things are different in this reality, as long as we're moving forward and going ahead. So what if, like Dolores Cannon, what she said, what if that happens where you have these two Earths separating, right? Maybe one of the Earths, maybe we're all still on this one Earth of the convergence, right? But maybe when we wake up, things go back to normal. Boy, would that be a head game, wouldn't it? All of a sudden you woke up, you're in this new Earth, there's no dark forces anymore. All of a sudden your heart is back here. Richard Simmons is wearing his headband. And it's not, you could say, a lot of people try to convince us that they're false memories, like Jif and Jiffy. I get that one, how it was never, because Jiffy was a false memory of combining Jif and Skippy. I can understand that one. I don't remember a Jiffy when I was a kid, but I could see people understanding that there may have been something like that. And the way, Fruit Loops was spelled, what is that thing, a cornucopia thing on Fruit of the Loom, their logo. Yeah, and like Judy said, Jiffy popcorn, right? So yeah, there was a Jiffy, but it just wasn't the peanut butter. Zero calorie, zero sugar soda made with stevia. I think he had glittery star glasses. Maybe he did. I don't remember that, though. Hi to Susan, joining us from Berkeley, California. The effects are just insane, says Morejo, when people like me who have concentrated on having a good memory. No joke, it's terrible. I get it. Hey, you may be thinking of Elton John. Well, that's probably true too. I remember Richard Simmons always wearing a terry towel headband in the exercise classes. It's like this. If you go on YouTube and type in parrot, what the fuck? You have these parrots all going, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's what I feel like What the fuck? The powers that be have completely bombarded us with products to consume. The glitter star glasses were on Elton John. Okay. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that it's possible that we're converging into the ultimate timeline? Or do you think there's something nefarious going on? Do you think HARP and CERN might have something to do with changing the timelines, putting us into a negative timeline? I'm not feeling that myself, but I'm curious what you guys think. I think they're trying to do everything they can do to prevent what's going to happen for us and to them, which are two totally different things. Now, some people beg to differ. They say that, you know, everybody moves on to the next stage of spiritual progression together. I don't think so. It's like what Dolores Cannon said. You need to be at least 51% positive to go to the new earth. I believe the law of one also says something about the 51%. And if you go to In5D, I wrote an article about that. Just type in, once again, on the search bar, 51%. That's it. You'll find it. I think I'm going to re-release a lot of the articles that I have on In5D. I was looking at how many articles I actually have. It's like 5,500, 5,700 articles. It's crazy. I've been doing this, obviously, a long time on In5D, since 2009. So 15 years of publishing articles and videos, and I'm a seasoned veteran. Hi, Doreen. How are you? Say hi to Troy as well. Judy says Richard Bach wrote a book called One, where he explored timeline splitting. With every decision you make, part of you goes left and part of you goes right, and your timeline has split. Dolores Cannon said the same thing. She said when you wake up, and like today, I chose this third eye chakra shirt, but I was thinking maybe I'll go with the Be Beautiful one. Maybe I'll go with the Earth element shirt. Maybe I'll wear a tank top. But each one of those creates a different reality. All the possibilities are infinitely available. It's kind of how the law of attraction works too. So what you set your sights on, you bring into you from the universe. And that's where a lot of us get fucked over, because there's so much shit going on around us that it's hard to keep and remain focused on that goal, on that end goal. And of course, they're doing this intentionally. You know, and a lot of this stuff is just plain out fear-mongering. I hope I have this one meme I was going to post, and I hope I saved it. I don't know. Hang on. I don't think I posted. Oh, here it is. All right. Yeah. Bear with me. Here we go. Yeah, I want to post this. It says, remember, Patriots, you're watching a movie. The Alliance is in control. All of the scare tactics, like what I was just talking about, such as 15-minute cities, lockdowns, eating bugs, mandatory vaccines, CBDCs, central bank currencies, right? Social credit scores, genocide, mRNA, I shouldn't have said that on YouTube, in food, and all the negative things you are hearing and seeing planned for humans will not happen. The light beings are protecting humanity, the air, plants, animals, food supply, water, and ground. And ground are being cleansed. At the point of humanity's doom, the light beings and the Alliance will flip the switch. Have no fear. Please relax. Everything will be okay. This is all happening to wake up humanity. That I believe. This evil that is being shown to you is what would have happened if the light beings and the Alliance had not stepped in. This is being allowed to happen so that in the future, if this evil begins to reemerge, humanity will be awake and not allow it to happen. There will be no nuclear war and no World War III. All nukes have been disarmed. For the most part, I believe that. Yeah. I agree. I need to post that on Facebook and Telegram. If you haven't joined me on Telegram, what are you waiting for? Because yeah, I post a lot of stuff there that I can't post elsewhere, and I can't even talk about elsewhere. I'll put that link in the chat again. So definitely join me on Telegram. A lot of good stuff there. Thank you, Susie. Third eye chakra. Aw. Oh, what I was using there, I do have Photoshop. That's called Paint Shop Pro. I use them both. I like it's called a picture tube, where you can copy PNGs and then resize them and add them on as layers in Paint Shop Pro. And I don't know if Photoshop has it, but I just know how to do it. I've had Paint Shop Pro for so long. I got them both, and I use them both. Yeah. That's true, Morejo. They mentioned that on Stephen Greer's disclosure, the first disclosure thing he had in, I think, the late 20-aughts, like 2008, something like that, 2009. Maybe it was later than that. But this one military person said that these UFOs came down and disabled all of the nuclear warheads. All of them. And if that happened here, it happened elsewhere too. It's not just the United States. They'll launch, but they're not going to do anything. We are not going to see another nuclear war. That shit ain't going to happen. Nuh-uh. So that's where that is. And I believe it. I do. We got to be getting close with the panic that they're exhibiting on the left. Oh, the latest. You guys have seen, for example, where Biden was in France. He just kind of like starts walking off and he's in a daze. And then it was the Juneteenth celebration that they had in Washington, D.C. And Biden's just standing there frozen with his mouth agape and looking completely lost. But the White House press secretary said that was all deep fakes. There's no way. No. And you know how you can tell the difference? I just put a video out on Rumble, the In5D Rumble channel. And how you can tell the difference on deep fakes? Fingers. AI cannot replicate hands and fingers. So, yeah. And on those videos, you see Biden's hands. They're real hands. They weren't deep faked. They're not AI. He's doing this to himself. I can't wait. They're going to have a debate in 2 weeks. And I try not to take sides. I've voted for both sides. I voted for Hillary when she was running for senator in upstate New York, figuring that I know eventually she's going to run for president and she's going to have to show that she did something. Well, I was really wrong. She didn't do shit for New York when I was living up there. I voted for Ron Paul twice, once in 2008, once in 2012. He's a libertarian. I always thought that Ron Paul and Democrat Dennis Kucinich should run together. It wouldn't matter which one was running for president or vice president because they both think so alike. That would have been a great ticket. But that year, I think it was 2012, could have been 2008, when they had the debates. Ron Paul was given, I think, 89 seconds to speak during the debate. That's how it was on CBS, and that's how much CBS and the left feared Ron Paul, because he had all this momentum building. And then during the first, I guess, primary, was that New Hampshire, I think, they announced that Mitt Romney had won, but they announced that prematurely because that influences momentum, the winner of that first state. And they announced that Romney had won. And then it wasn't until like weeks later they said, oh, well, we retabulated the count. Ron Paul won. But it was too late. By then, Mitt Romney had all the momentum. I loved Ron Paul. I think he just has this dad kind of, or grandpa kind of image in my mind that I trust him, I believe him, and there's not many politicians I can say that for. What about Trump? I'd like to believe that he's a good guy. I've had dreams about him 3 or 4 times. Nothing bad, all positive. I'd like to think that he's a good guy and that he has humanity's best interests in heart. All I want is the truth. I don't care if it's from the left or from the right. The extremes have their own agendas, and I don't trust either extreme. But if anything, I'd probably lean more a little right at this point. Do I plan on voting? No. I haven't voted since Ron Paul. After they gave him 89 seconds to speak, I knew that it was fucking fixed. Just give me the truth. That's all I want. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. And I don't necessarily agree with everything he says or stands for, but I don't think there's much of a choice between him and Biden or Kennedy or whoever they decide to put against him. I think he's definitely the best. I don't agree with how he handled the jab, getting that jab out so quickly. No longitudinal studies. Don't agree with that. And because of that, my parents are fully jabbed, fully boosted. They're still alive, though, and I'm grateful for that. Next up. These are some words that are commonly mispronounced. And it wouldn't surprise me if I mispronounce some of these words while I'm reading them. Hang on, I gotta pull the document up. Here it is. Okay. So let's go like this. The first word, commonly mispronounced word, And let me know how, if you guys are guilty of this as well, as I will with you. How do you pronounce that? I'm guilty on this one. A lot of times I will not pronounce the first R. I'll just say February. But it's both R's are pronounced February. It's not February. But that's what I say. It's wrong. What about you guys? Now, this is one when many of us were kids, we mispronounced, but I think most of us pronounce it correctly now. When we were kids, we might have said library. Library. Looking back, it's kind of funny, but obviously it's library. But that's more of a mispronounced word as a child. Now this one, nuclear. Remember George Bush? He would always call it nuclear bombs, right? Nuclear. And I was just talking about nuclear bombs with the UFOs disarming them. But in the back of my mind, because I had just gone over this list, I'm thinking, don't say nuclear. Now here's one. How would you say this? I'll tell you the wrong way to say it, and I'm guilty of this as well. Mischievous. And with me pronouncing it that way, it would be more like that, mischievous. But that I's not there. So it's just mischievous. Yeah. But I'm guilty for saying I know I've said mischievous before. A lot of us. Here's another one I'm guilty of, and I'm sure you guys have done this too. Sherbert. Sure, Bert. Right? But it's sherbet. I know as a kid I called it sherbet. I called it sherbet for probably the first 20 some odd years of my life. I didn't know there wasn't a second R in there. And it doesn't sound right saying sherbet when you've been saying sherbet for all your life. Let's go take a peek at the comments. Morel pronounces both R's. February. Yeah, that's what I'm guilty of saying that. February. I think of beer. Febrew. No, no argument there. It drove me crazy. February. Mischievous. Yes, that is correct. Mischievous. That's what I'm guilty of saying. Mario corrects a lot of people on sherbet. Sure, Bert. And Ernie too. Right? Yeah, I'll try to remind me at toward the end, please. Okay. English was my favorite class. I'm a nuisance at times. It's like I did a video on filler words, and I thought that was interesting. The difference between there's reasons why we say that. We're either thinking the direction we want to go, or can't think of what we want to say. at that point in time. Filler words. That's why we say and like. Let's say Earl for oil. Yeah, I've heard that before. Earl. Down here in the South, instead of milk, they'll say Merlk. Merlk. Like MERLK. And yes, we are married. My gorgeous wife. Continuing. Got more. Just curious on the comments. Okay. I think we left off on sherbet. Sherbet. Yeah. This is an interesting one. How do you guys pronounce this one? ALMOND. I've been mispronouncing it for a long time. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not almond. It's not almond. The correct pronunciation is almond. Ah. Almost like it should be AHMOND, almond. Or Amun Ra, right? Almond. I still say almond, like almond milk. They're wrong on this one. Yeah, it's almond. It's not almond. I'm sorry, it's almond. Now, these next ones are kind of funny because they can be correctly pronounced several different ways. Is it caramel? Is it caramel? Is it both? Does it depend on what you're having or how you're using that word? Remember those caramel coated apples that you'd get at a fair or that you'd make with your mom or your mom would make for you around Halloween? Yummy. Well, that shit's not good for you now, but yeah, in this case, caramel and caramel are both correct. So there isn't, it can be pronounced differently, but it's not necessarily mispronounced. And the same goes with this, right? How do you pronounce this? I guarantee in the chat, you probably will find all three different ways. I usually misspell this word. I'll spell it with 2 R's and 1 B. In general, I'll probably say Caribbean. Some people would say Caribbean, and they would not be incorrect. I think there's a third way to pronounce it, and I can't remember what that is. Or am I might be mistaking that for the next word. Caribbean. Yeah. I would call it Caribbean. Although Billy Ocean would beg to differ. He had that song, Caribbean Queen. Remember that? Yeah, this next one is, you can say this 3 different ways. And we'll all agree on the first part of it, for the most part. Actually, you could say it 4 different ways, and I'll get to the 4th afterwards. And I don't think you'd be wrong any of the 4 different ways you would pronounce this city. How would I pronounce it? I guess it depends. Like if I'm talking about the football team, it would be the New Orleans Saints. If I'm talking about the city, like I'd love to go to New Orleans. It's more like New Orleans, I guess. You could say New Orleans. So you got New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans, or as they say down in Cajun country, Narlands. So you got 4 different ways you could say the same city, and none of them are incorrect. This one looks pretty simple, doesn't it? How many of us mispronounce this? I'll tell you the incorrect way first. Often. I often say this word incorrectly. The T is basically silent, so it's often, not often. But I know I'm guilty on that one. I know I've said it with the T and without the T. I think for the most part, I don't say the T because I tend not to enunciate. Because when you enunciate, it just sounds too perfect and it just doesn't come off as being genuine. Let's take a peek at the chat. Mario says some people say wash instead of wash. That's true. Hi, Mary. Thank you for joining. Almond. Wrong. You know, and I'm with you guys. Almond. I agree. But it's wrong. Almond. I've always pronounced the L. As recently as the last time I said it, which might have been last month or the month before, talking about, you know, the difference between almond milk and just said it there, and coconut milk or something. Milk is another one. A lot of people will say milk, as in M-E-L-K. If I get talking fast, I'll say milk instead of milk. Guilty. Almond, indeed. Yeah. That's a good one, too, Rayo. Salmon. Salmon. Yeah, like sandwich, which is incorrect, but salmon sandwich. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining us. Caramel. Gotcha. You got that reference of Caribbean Queen. Narlands. Yeah. Enunciate. Enunciate. No, thank you. When people in the South say, bless your heart, what do they, you know what they mean. They don't mean that. They say that poor little dumb shit. That's what they're saying. Bless his heart. Bless his little heart. That poor little dumb shit. Yeah. It's an insult. Yeah, definitely. And they sound so kind and sincere when they say it. You don't want them to say that to you. No, that's not good. Got a few more I want to pass by you. This is fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. Now this one, I think we all know, especially here in the United States, because of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders. I don't know anyone. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's pronounced colonel. Wouldn't that just sound weird? Colonel Sanders. Who's that guy that founded KFC? Oh, Colonel Sanders? What? I don't know, get the balls out of your mouth. Oh, Colonel Sanders. Yeah, indeed. But I mean, why isn't there, it's pronounced Colonel, so why isn't there an R in there? Who's the genius that said, we're going to call it Colonel, but we're not going to put an R in the word? Just to fuck with people. Okay, so I probably have done this. I'm not even going to say it because I'd have to say the word before I wanted to. How do you guys say this word? So the incorrect way would be pronunciation. Pronunciation. And in that case, it would be pronounced more like that. Pronunciation. I think I've said that before. I'm not sure, but I think I have. But that leads us to the correct way of saying it, pronunciation. I mean, so far I'm guilty on at least half of them at some point in my life. This is one that gets a lot of people. We'll see how you guys say it. I know I'm guilty on this. I'll say the incorrect way. I'll let you guys give it a shot first, how you guys pronounce it. I know I'm wrong, and I still say it this way. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, when I'm fucking up, because I'm wrong and I'm fucking this word up. The incorrect way, but the way I pronounce it, is foliage. The fall foliage is beautiful, but it's foliage. I always said foliage. I mean, it's clearly got it clearly has the Leah in there, and I refuse to pronounce that part. Foliage. Yeah. This is one where if you didn't know what the hell it is, I think anyone, if you weren't familiar with it, you'd call it quinoa. Like, was that Dr. Quinn, the medical man or medical woman, or who was that? Quinn. Oa. Coco. Quinoa. If you didn't, well, for example, let's say that someone gives you a shopping list and you're trying to find this in the store, and you go up to a store employee and you never saw this word before. Excuse me, please. Could you point me in the direction of the quinoa? And he'd be like, what? Excuse me? Quinoa. What language are you speaking? Quinoa. Oh. Quinoa. Okay. Rural. How do you pronounce this word? Looks so simple. 5 letters, right? commonly mispronounced. We'll see what you guys say. The incorrect way is rural. Rural. And the correct way is rural. It's not ru, it's rur. It's not rural, it's rural. And I think I say it with the ru. Rural. Yeah, I do. And I still say that. That probably puts me over half now. Half of them I mispronounce. I can spell them all. I'm great at spelling. Pronunciation, nah. This is an easy one. Most of us know this is Porsche, but other people will say Porsche, which is incorrect. Porsche. I could see how this one could be tricky. How do you guys pronounce it? If you didn't know anything about this word and what it meant and had never heard of it, and we're just trying to pronounce it phonetically, you'd probably say something like entrepreneur, based on phonics. The incorrect way is entrepreneur. That's incorrect. Entrepreneur is not correct. Entrepreneur. It's not newer, it's ner. That's the difference. And I'm wrong on that one too. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Ner. As in nerd. As in this is kind of nerdy. But it's fascinating. Entrepreneur. Not entrepreneur. Or an entrepreneur. It's not newer or older. And this is the last one. If you didn't know what the heck this is, it would just, I'd probably want to pronounce it Segoo. Segui. And this is a transition from like one topic to another. It kind of ties them both together. But it's not a Segoo, it's segue. And that's what I have. There are so many more. Maybe we'll save some for another night. Yeah. So I thought that was fun. It was just something fun to do. And what kind of got me on this is how, for example, the British will say oregano and aluminium, where we say oregano and aluminum. Neither are wrong in each country. I remember when I was in England, we went shopping and I asked the clerk where the oregano is. And he goes, "Excuse me?" I go, "Oh, oregano." "Oh, it's right over here." Yeah. Funny. Hi, Christina. Christina says, I always had an issue pronouncing put. I say poot. Here's another one. I mean, that I hear a lot is BEEN. I've been thinking, a lot of people will say I've been thinking. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure bean is probably the correct way, but I never say it that way. I've been thinking about going to the beach. What do you guys do? Is it Ben? Ben as in BIN, BEN, or bean? I've been thinking. And then you have different dialects, like people from up north or Canada. They'll like, I'm going out of the house. I don't know how many of those words I had. I had a bunch of them, probably at least 20. And more than half, I pronounce it incorrectly. But because so many of us also pronounce it incorrectly, and nobody says, hey, that's not the way you say that. Well, I mean, the rest of the world is pretty much wrong. When you look at it from our perspective. Yeah, Mario and Christina say been. I've been thinking. Not I've been thinking. What, you thinking about beans? That doesn't make sense unless you really love beans. I never noticed that. Native Southern Californians all sound like we're in a John Wayne movie. I've been to Southern Cal. I never noticed that. Ohioans have a unique accent. Yeah. Canadian accent. Yeah. Out and about. Yes. That's certainly a giveaway. There's so many people that come down here to Sarasota, Siesta Key, as snowbirds. And for 6 months, I hear that Canadian accent. I've met a bunch of people, good people from Canada. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I've been on for a little over an hour. Didn't even plan on doing this originally. Figured, what the heck. If you want killer t-shirts like this, high vibrational, high energy shirts, go to In5D.net. Check it out there, and I hope you've been checking out all the links that are going on below. Join me on Patreon right there, and so on and so forth. Allie and I will be back on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. UK for our global predictions. So start thinking about the questions you want to ask. And we'll be on at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and 3 a.m. UK for those night owls like Allie, for our live and uncensored, and that's on Rumble at 10 p.m. So YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern, Rumble at 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, Tuesday night, every Tuesday night. We have our 100th episode tomorrow of Global Predictions. Hard to believe we've been doing it for this long. But yeah, clicking away and having fun doing it. Hope you guys can join us then and there. So until the next time, folks, I'm Gregg from In5D.com, In5D.net, Zentasia.com. Send you all infinite love and light from my heart to yours. Take care, everyone.